Hello, David 4040 here, and today I'm going to be talking about a Galactic Republic defensive territory war fleet. So first we're going to take a look here at the leader endurance. So first we're going to take a look at Mace Windu's capital ship. So what many people probably don't realize is even though Endurance is probably the worst capital ship in the game, uh, he does still have really good synergy with other Galactic Republic ships, especially since Anakin's ETA has come out. It really has helped the viability of the Endurance, and so there's actually a good bit of viability and struggle here for people who underestimate this team, and it can require a meta team to defeat. Before the Falcon came out, I actually was seeing people using the Endurance on the top ends of Arena, and those were some of the harder teams to beat because I would undervalue them going in, and I didn't really have a strategy for taking them out. And I know our guild has had a difficulty even defeating under-geared Galactic Republic fleets. So I think if you have these characters, apart from Mace Windu, decently geared, probably gear 9, gear 10, it will probably work as a good defensive fleet. If you want to get them up higher, even better. You probably want to have Mace Windu higher up than those other ships, since gear 11, you can probably use them lower gear. But if you can work on them slowly as a side project to get this fleet up as a good territory war defensive fleet, I would highly suggest that. So one of the things going on with Mace Windu's ship here is this Valor mechanic. Valor grants the endurance 15% turn meter and reduces the ultimate ability of the capital ship whenever an ally with Valor is hit. Reinforcements under him get Valor, and Anakin's ship also gives himself Valor. So that's important to note, is his ship is based around this Valor mechanic. He also gives offense and defense, which is doubled for Galactic Republic allies. So Galactic Republic allies under a fleet with him can be really defensive because it's harder to get through. His ultimate gives protection up, which can't be prevented or dispelled, so like the protection up on Bastila lead and Retribution. And Retribution can really hurt as well. So Honor and Might will be the thing that's most important to have maxed out on this ship, because it essentially acts as leadership ability, giving buffs to other ships. As a second or third thing to max out, you'll want to max out either Hold Fast or Fortune Favors the Bold. Hold Fast will act as a heal on the protection for a ship, whereas Fortune Favors the Bold will act as a semi AoE that basically works like Boba Fett's AoE with the missiles, and it also will grant Valor. The last thing you should always max out on a capital ship is the basic, because you should rarely be using the basic on a capital ship. So the endurance is going to obviously be an important part of a Galactic Republic fleet. First thing we're going to actually take a look at is bounty hunters. The two bounty hunters you're going to want to use on this defensive fleet, I'm going to ensure to not use them in other potential fleets for these territory war videos, but you're going to want to use the Houndstooth. You're going to want to use the Xanadu Blood. The Houndstooth is obviously going to be your tank. Houndstooth is one of the tankiest ships in the game. It's really hard to deal with unless you have a Millennium Falcon fleet. There are certain counters like Wedge and TIE Fighter, but they're very finicky. So Houndstooth should be an excellent and hard to kill ship, especially with things like that protection hill on um, on the endurance will make this an even harder ship to kill. The other one is the Xanadu Blood. The Xanadu Blood has a really good AoE and Rogue Mover that uh, can inflict target lock and calls to assist, and then it can inflict breach on its basic, which will have some synergies with the Houndstooth, and there's some other uh, breach mechanics in his kit. I believe, yeah, while Xanadu Blood is active, breach enemies have less offense. So this will do you pretty good having it on your fleet. And there's not that many ships that have effective AoEs in this game, so Rogue Maneuver is really good because of that. The reinforcement ability is not going to matter in this particular fleet. So those are the two bounty hunter ships you're going to want to use on this defensive team. Again, Houndstooth is going to probably be best suited here because it is a defensive team and he is the best tank in the game, which means you're going to want to have him on your defensive team anyhow. And on offense, he's a lot harder to beat. So it's no problem. On offense, he is easier to beat and isn't as essential to an offensive team, essentially. So it's fine to leave him on your defensive fleet. And there are, again, counters to it. So as long as you have one of those counters developed out, you should be able to defeat Houndstooth on offense if you run into it. So next, we're going to change the filter here and go to Galactic Republic. Now, the third ship you're going to want to have on this team, as a starting ship, you're going to want to have the Umbaran Starfighter. So the Umbaran Starfighter is good for several reasons. First, it has the semi-AoE that hurts target locked enemies and inflicts target lock and deals quite a bit of damage. It's also a really tanky ship that has counter chance and removes debuffs and inflicts offense down on its basic, which really hurts teams. So it's just a really defensive ship. And if you have Plo Koon as one of your reinforcements, which we'll talk about in a minute, can come in and give them Umbaran Starfighter taunt, which is especially useful if they've already killed your Houndstooth. And it will just help to make your team more defensive, and it will have those extra synergies with the Endurance, which is the Galactic Republic leader. Now for some of your better reinforcements. First off, you'll want to have Ahsoka Tano's Starfighter. This will be your Dispeller. I always find Dispellers to be excellent reinforcements. It has the reinforcement ability Dispels. It has a Dispel ability as its special. She can dispel debuffs on herself. She has a good basic that deals a decent amount of damage. Overall, Ahsoka is going to be a decent ship, and your enemies aren't going to like seeing this come out. It's significantly hurting them, and they'll already be having a hard time killing your Houndstooth and your Umbaran Starfighter, who will just be annoying them while they're taking tons of damage from the Xanadu Blood. So Ahsoka Starfighter. Now, Anakin's ETA, probably the second best ship to come out last year, following the Houndstooth. This ship has an amazing AoE that just comes in and significantly hurts. It inflicts healing immunity. Anakin gains some protection up with critical hits. This ship just does massive amounts of damage. Sure, it's weak, but again, if you have this reinforcement ability maxed out, look at this. Grant all allies accuracy up and all Galactic Republic allies offense up. By this time, you should hopefully have both the Umbaran and Ahsoka on your field, so they'll be getting offense up, and inflict expose on all enemies for 2 turns. So you'll be inflicting expose, and on top of that, coming in with this AoE that will be immediately activating that expose. and he will just give more bonuses to your Jedi and clone allies that has some Valor mechanics with it as well. So Anakin's ETA is a great ship that will help also speed up that ultimate on endurance. I think there are 3 other good options for reinforcements on this team. Plo Koon, I've always found to be an annoying reinforcement. It gives taunt to a target ally, so probably Umbaran or Houndstooth if it's still on the field. It's just annoying because of that taunt. It acts as a scimitar in terms of reinforcements. So this is just going to be an annoying ship to have on the field as it consistently causes one of its allies to taunt. And again, it has those synergies with the Endurance and Anakin's ETA and the other Republic ships that will help out even more. The other 2 options here I'm going to say are going to be Clone Sergeant or ARC. The good thing about Clone Sergeant, if you have this maxed out, is going to be its reinforcement ability, because it will provide you with another taunter. Now you can use this on another team if you want, but essentially enter battle, Clone Sergeant gains protection up and taunts while he has protection. So as long as the ship has protection, it's going to be taunting. So that's super useful. You can use it on other teams too, but I think the best team is probably a Galactic Republic team. For if you want to have a little bit more damage, not too much more damage, because it's probably more. It's classified as a tank, but it does have target lock on its basic. Rex's ARC is a decent ship, and most people probably already have Rex up. So that's why I'm going to be suggesting that our guild start using as a defensive fleet in territory wars. I think we should all have a semi-decent Galactic Republic fleet, because even under-geared, these teams can be tricky because people underestimate them. And Endurance, with Endurance as a capital ship, Xanadu Blood and Houndstooth with Umbaran Starfighter plus Ahsoka, Anakin, Plo Koon, and either Clone Sergeant or Rex's ARC as the reinforcements are going to make probably one of the best. It's going to be the best defensive option for us in territory wars. So start developing out that team. Work on it to the extent that you can. I know most of those characters aren't the best in the game right now. Bosk is definitely one of the better ones. But do think about this in terms of those clone ships I suggested. Clones are excellent in territory wars right now. As defensive teams, they are hard to kill due to those bonuses they get practically every other territory war at the moment. So those aren't too bad to work on. And Ahsoka and Anakin work in B-rate territory war and Grand Arena teams. So these really, apart from Mace Windu, probably aren't the worst things in the game to be working on. There are a lot worse options. So hope that helped out. Talk to you guys later. If you have any questions, message me in Discord. Bye.